Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rockies Now Podcast. We are a Colorado Rockies podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Tom. I am joined by my fellow co-host, Sarah. Sarah, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good. It's hot out here.
It's kind of that's kind of the opposite of what it is in Illinois, although we are starting to heat up this weekend. But again, we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about Rockies baseball. So real quick, before we get into trivia, I just want to go over, I obviously was the one who sent us to our group chat earlier today. Obviously, with the new MLB Pipeline Top 100 prospect list that came out, we were no surprise to see Ethan Holliday and Charlie Condon on that list. Charlie did drop us a few spots, though, but I'm not sure why. What is your opinion? That's kind of strange to me, unless they're seeing something I don't know that pushed some other prospects past him. I'm a little shocked.
He's just cooling off a little bit.
It
hasn't been anything real drastic, but he started out the season pretty hot in Albuquerque, and really Cole Carrig has been the guy down there here lately. He's got a 21 game hit streak going. Charlie just hasn't been doing near as much. I mean, there's a lot happening down in Albuquerque right now. They are very, very hot as a team. But Charlie hasn't played. It's not that he's been playing poorly, really, but he just hasn't really been a big part of that mix here lately.
Well, and then, of course, I don't know if you saw this, a lot of people are, I'm not trying to hark on things, but a lot of people are upset with Jordan Beck. Some people go so far as to comment, I'm tired of Jordan Beck. Please get rid of him. Come on, let's not overreact here. I can understand the frustration. I understand we want to see Charlie, but he's not ready, and I don't see zero reason to rush him.
No, and a big part of Jordan Beck's problem, you're seeing it with a lot of guys right now. We've got a lot of lefties now, and they are stacking the lineup depending on whether you've got a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher, which means that guys like Jordan Beck are not getting the playing time that they're used to. Brenton Doyle is not getting the playing time that he is used to. These guys need consistency, they need routine, they need at-bats, and they are not getting those. And I think it's really hard for them to stay in a good rhythm when they're not seeing regular action. You don't know if you're going to see Jordan once every 3 days, once every 5 days, every day. Like, it's so all over the place right now. I think that kind of the strategy that the Rockies are deploying right at this time has been a little bit detrimental to some of these guys.
And unfortunately, we talked about this going into the season. The outfield mix, especially, there was at least 4 or 5 guys who could be seen as an everyday outfielder on this team. I give credit to Warren Schaefer. He's got to divide this up with what he can, and I know it'll be interesting to see how, as the All-Star break gets closer, what roster moves are made.
Yeah, and I know Paul DePodesta said that they are not going to be reactionary with anybody. These guys, they're going to give them time to figure it out, which is what needs to be done. You can't just knee-jerk send somebody down to AAA when it's really, and it would be good, in a way, it would be good for Jordan to get some at-bats down there and get some confidence back. But at the same time, AAA is very crowded right now too. It is very crowded. You have a very hot outfield.
That's the question.
Zach Veen is very consistent. It's just, there's a lot happening.
Not to mention Sterling, and we can't forget. That's a guy I'm keeping my eye on. I'm keeping my eye on Sterling Thompson. This is just me. I would love to see him this year, but again, I'm not the GM, so I can't make that.
I would too. He's been great.
Well, I mean, we'll see about that. I mean, as you know, the Pacific Coast League is an interesting league to play in.
Yeah.
Just real quick on Ethan Holliday, for those of you in 21, again, just for reference for everybody, he's only 19 years old. 27 games this year, he is slashing 247, 380, and slugging 515. He does have 6 home runs. I don't know. He still is one of the more formidable prospects in the game, which is why he is 17. He's still in the top 25. Again, he is somebody. I'm not going to bring up my heart with Scott Boras here because he is his agent, but knowing the way I know what we're seeing, I mean, you can agree. I'm not sure. I would think you would agree with me. They're going to take their time with him.
Oh yeah.
That's what I do. Again, we have a shortstop right now. Whether or not people are high up or down on him, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see what Tovey does. But again, they're not just going to throw Ethan into the mix. They're going to take their time with him. Well, okay, we'll see how Ethan Holliday and Charlie Condon continue to progress. But a new arrival to the top 100 for the Rockies is Roldy Brito. He is an international signee out of the Dominican Republic. He is currently in Fresno. He is his positions listing is he can play second base, shortstop, but he also has the ability to play the outfield. I'm just, again, familiarizing myself with him. He's got quite a season going. He's batting .319, on base is .373, and .526 slugging. He's got 48 hits in 31 games. Sorry, 43 hits in 31 games. Not a lot of power, but a lot of one more thing point, he is a switch hitter too. So
yeah, I don't tend to follow like the lower levels quite so much, because I know those guys, we probably have of course you see Ethan Holliday get plastered all over X every single day. So I do see a little bit more about him, but I don't tend to really look too much at Hartford and Fresno like I do with Albuquerque, because those guys should logistically be next up. So I like to see a little bit more of what they're doing. And then, so I don't know a whole lot about him, but I have heard a lot of really good things. So.
Me too. I mean, I don't know a lot about him. I'm just reading off of his profile page. I just had to bring him up because, again, newly arrival, I want to give him a shout out. I don't think we all want to play too much favoritism.
Right.
We can. As you pointed out, Ethan is going to get a bevy of social media attention, specifically on the Fresno Grizzlies page for the main reason, of course, not just he was a first round pick or a guy who fell to us at 4, but also he's a legacy. Look who his father is.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Big shoes to fill for sure. So either way, just to be perfectly honest, we're going to skip trivia for just a moment here, but Mickey Moniak, I mean, what more can we say about this guy? He did have a bit of a breakout season last year, but right now at this point, he is having a season that is warranted serious consideration. I mean, he very likely is going to be in the All-Star running. Sarah, I mean, he's one of your guys that you focus on. What do you think?
I am so happy. And first of all, I am so tired of Mickey as a gimmicky player. Okay, yes, he is absolutely thriving at Coors Field. Yes, he has found his home, but he's producing on the road too. You can't say, I mean, his splits are not completely even, but let's face it, Mickey is not bad on the road either. Sometimes it takes the right environment. Coors Field is a wonderful ballpark for him, obviously, but it's not like he's not doing anything at all when they're on the road as well. So I'm kind of tired of hearing that conversation, but y'all do what you got to do about that. I mean, come on, yesterday, the birthday game, that's a immediate Rockies legendary game, 5 RBIs, a single short of the cycle. How often do you hear that he was a single short of the cycle? Like, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, because typically at least I have to look this up, but in the cycles I personally seen, usually the triple is the last one or the second last one. I think it's rare that the single is the final one. Usually they either get it first, second, or third. Mm-hmm. Is Cargo the only cycle in Rockies history?
Isn't he? I would have to look that up. I wouldn't be able to tell you right off the top of my head. I know we've had a lot of guys that have come pretty close, but.
Oh, Charlie has one. Charlie and Nolan have one too. I just remember Nolan has one in 2017. That was on the Father's Day with the big walk-off home run.
Oh, yeah.
And then Charlie was at the very end of the 18 season during that big stretch of games we had to win just to get in or get to the wild card game, excuse me. So there's at least 3 I remember off the top of my head. And of course, obviously we all know Cargo 2010 against the Cubs in Coors Field, but my favorite is Nolan because, again, big walk-off. And of course, he was also bleeding from the face as well because he got hit in the head. But key thing for Mickey Moniak, the thing that jumps out at me, he's slugging .693 as we speak right now.
Leading the league, and it's really not even close.
I could look it up, but I'd rather just not right now exactly who is in second place. But at the end of the day,
Matt Olson is in third. I know that. I can't think of who's in second, but I know Matt Olson's in third.
if there's a Braves player, you would know. So
Yeah. So, and I believe so. Mickey is 693. Is that right? The
yes,
next guy is 667.
well, there's a lot
So
of
it is not particularly a close call there.
yeah. Well, just because if you don't mind, just because I'm curious. Okay, so he is. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, actually, with updated stats, like he is actually leading with 677 because in today's game he went down to 677. Second is Ben Rice, actually.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Okay. I just saw it earlier today, and I just kind of skipped over who was second and saw Matt's name in third. So
followed by Jordan Alvarez, then Matt Olson. So Matt dropped a spot.
so Matt's dropped down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was before the Braves game started, I guess, and they got shut out by the Cubs just now. So
Jordan is having. Speaking of which, Jordan Alvarez is having quite a season. He's batting .321 at the moment, with 14 home runs, which is tied with Matt Olson. But Schwarber is currently the leader. Yes, Schwarber leads with 18. Judge behind him with 16. Well, everybody knows my nickname for him, the beer league softball player. So
yeah.
Anyway, I've always liked Schwarber, but at the end of the day, Mickey Moniak, barring something crazy, he is going to surpass 24 home runs that he hit, the 24 home runs that he hit last year, unless some
Absolutely
ungodly. What do you think? 30 or 35? Do you think he passed the 35 plateau?
He's at, is he at 11 now?
Yeah, 12, excuse me.
12. He's at 12 now.
Mm-hmm.
It's
My
middle
guess
of May.
is I'm going to give the number of 33.
35.
I'm going to go 33. I'm going to give you an exact number.
I can see 35.
Yeah, that's my. I mean, anything is possible at this point. I mean, last year the leader was Huntington with 31. So,
I mean, I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, look at Jake McCarthy all of a sudden coming out of nowhere with all this pop.
You never know. Really, you can. In my views, you can never predict these things ever as much. All of it. So, but yeah. So again, Mickey, I really hope I think he has a legit chance to make the All-Star game. He's not going to be in the MVP conversation, but he's for sure going to garner some votes for the All-Star game. And who knows? Maybe he will either be either the Rockies representative or two of them. I think there's a possibility for two.
I think if people don't vote him in at this point, if he continues the way he's playing now, if he does not get voted in, which of course I thought the same thing about Hunter last year, but really, I mean, if you're not voting him in with this kind of a performance, you are crazy. All these people are crazy. I will say it now.
Well, you know how it is. A lot of the larger fan bases are favoritism, or specific fan bases are going to be favoritism, and non-large certain fan bases tend to pick the more popular players. And that's because I remember I can think of several times where a player is voted into the top 10 of voting because they show the top 10 as it stands at certain points during the process. And you can tell it's the fan favoritism. And I'm not going to single out any fan bases, but you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yankees. That's one. Cubs are another one, but then that's just me. You're talking to a White Sox fan, so what does it matter? So anywho, so with that being said, Mickey, we're going to keep an eye on him. He's obviously one of the bright spots of this team at the moment, even though we're kind of struggling. So again, just to recap real quickly, the last week of games, obviously we won the opener against the Philadelphia Phillies, but we lost the second game 2 and the series finale. Sarah, you were at game 2, was it?
No, I wasn't at any of the Phillies games.
Oh, I
was at the first night of the Braves games.
Sorry, my apologies. So
I was at game 2 of the home opening series against the Phillies, but I did not go to Philadelphia this week.
Al, I mean, to be honest, I know people were screaming a little bit from the rooftops about how we could lose to one of the teams with one of the worst records in baseball. Any given day, you can win or lose. So I don't know about you, but it's just as
the Phillies did go after getting rid of Rob Thompson after putting Don Mattingly in charge of things, they did go 7-1 right away.
Mhm.
So they've had a little bit more of a turnaround. So I wasn't surprised. Now, had we seen the Phillies with Rob Thompson at
Mhm.
the helm, I think that's a very different series. But with that managerial change that they made, they've turned around a little bit. I mean, they're still not playing great baseball by any means, but they do look a lot better than they did.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I brought this up and we talked about this back in 2022. I think it was 30-ish games in. They fired Joe Girardi. Rob Thompson took them all the way to the World Series. Don Mattingly, he's nearing the end of his career. He's getting another opportunity to be a manager. You know, he was manager of the Dodgers, Marlins, and I believe that was it after his playing career. So who knows? Maybe he's got another big deep playoff run in him as a manager. It would be very interesting because for those who don't remember, he was the bench coach of the Blue Jays last season. So he was one game away from that because he doesn't have a World Series player or coach. So he was on those Yankees teams, some good Yankee teams, but he just couldn't close the deal. Okay. And to be honest, the Pirates series, the Pirates are having not a great, but a good season. And the highlight of the series, I gave a shout out. I got to give it up to Paul Skenes. And I was the one, and I'll own it. I was the one who sent this to our group chat. If he threw that no-hitter against us, I would have been okay with it. That man is incredible. It dumbfounds me sometimes just watching him pitch.
I wouldn't have been terribly upset about it, but I did absolutely, as soon as I realized, because I had some stuff going on around the house that I was trying to take care of while I was watching the game. And when I looked and saw what the box score looked like, I immediately walked outside of my house and said, Paul Skenes is throwing a no-hitter against the Colorado Rockies right now. I need everybody to talk about it. My kids were outside playing and they looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, just talk about it for a minute. And then it got broken up. So that was me. You're welcome. I wouldn't have been terribly upset if he had thrown a no-hitter against us. But I mean, because it's Paul Skenes, you can't really get mad about that.
I honestly cannot. It's Paul Skenes. I don't hate the guy. I can't. I have nothing against the Pirates franchise either. I really don't. If they are on a roll, I'm rooting for them. So
I forget that the Pirates exist a lot of times. I really do. They're not in the division. You don't usually hear a whole lot because they're usually not doing a whole lot, but they are having a solid season. They've made a lot of additions. Marcelo Zuna is off to a little bit of a slow start, but they've got a great lineup. Really, looks better than it did last year, anyway.
I mean, the last time they made the playoffs, if I remember, was 2015 when they had Kutch, so Andrew McCutchen. So I feel so bad he did not win. They couldn't build around him, but with Skenes, you have to find a way to win baseball games with this guy because this is, in my opinion, I think someone asked me this, who in Game 7 of the World Series, Skubal or Skenes? I go Skenes. I pick Paul Skenes.
I think I do too. I pretty hands down. I mean, Skubal's a very powerful arm as well, and you really probably would be pretty safe with either one of them. But Paul Skenes can get wins without a lot of run support. He has shown that as long as his bullpen does not blow it. I think that's the guy you go with.
He kind of reminds me, I don't know about this, he kind of reminds me of Max Scherzer a little bit I say that because of delivery. It looks like they're kind of pushing the ball just like Max Skenes does, like Max Scherzer does. I don't know. It's just me, but again, speaking of which, funny little Hollywood thing. There's a Baywatch reboot TV series coming out and his girlfriend is going to be in it. I saw that the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, Paul Skenes' girlfriend, yeah.
Libby
I was like,
Dunn.
wait, Max Scherzer? What are you talking about?
No, Max is married. He's got a wife.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. When did I miss that?
I'm sorry. No. Libby Dunn, obviously LSU gymnast, very popular on social media. She's got a big following. She's now going to make her professional acting debut. So, but that's the thing about this series that to me, that was the highlight. And we did win Game 2, but like I said, I would not have been too upset if Skenes did it because I think at some point in his career, he is going to either throw a perfecto or a no-hitter at some point. He's too good not to.
I mean, he was working on one. He was definitely working on one, but he's one that, it's bound to happen at some point in time. And when it happens, I don't think anybody is going to be shocked, really, no matter who it's against. You have to know it's coming. And really, I was happy to see the Rockies get out of there with that one win. It was a great comeback. That was a solid game. Not a whole lot you can complain about, but again, it kind of goes back to it's hard to keep guys consistent when you're bouncing in and out of the lineup. And I mean, and like I said, I understand the strategy behind it. I understand what they're doing. And I also understand, but you can see the difference between your guys that are getting, 2-3 days in a row before they're sitting versus your guys that are playing every third day. In that repetition is so necessary to be able to be consistent, to be able to get something going. I mean, Jordan looked like he was turning it around there for a minute and then sat for a couple games, and now we're right back where we were. And I mean, the same could be say Tovey kind of looks like he's starting to come around a little bit more. Doyle, what is even happening there? It's just been it's those specific guys really more than anybody else, but these are not the guys that you thought you were going to see this from. So, but when you really look at it, they're not getting as much opportunity as everybody else is. And part of it is because they're not performing, but part of it is because of the strategy that the team is using in constructing a lineup every day.
I mean, yeah, I give it to any front office or manager because you have X number of at bats throughout a season that you have to divvy up, and whether you're rebuilding or competing, that is a very challenging thing to do. This is we're trying to figure things out, but like you said, there's only so much to go around.
Yeah.
The Pirates are currently 24-20 in fourth place in the division. Every team in the National League Central Division has a winning record.
Has a winning record. Yeah. How many teams in the American League have a winning record at this point? Because a couple days ago it was just 2.
Let me just double check that. The Rays, Yankees, Guardians, White Sox just won, so now they're above that. Woohoo.
Oh.
And only one team in the West, just the Athletics. That's it.
Yeah, those numbers are crazy low. Like that just seems wild to me that few number of teams in the entire American League. Because if you take a look over at the National, top 2 teams in the West have winning records.
It's as if the league. It's as if the league is strangely lopsided. It's just weird. Like it's just like when you have several. It's like as if you had, let's say, like you had a number of 90 win teams, and then you had a lot of 90 lost teams. It's like a lopsided thing. There's no middle. Yeah. There's just top or bottom.
Yeah, like the NL, you've got the top 2 teams in the West have a winning record. In the East, it's a little different because only the Braves have a winning record. But at the same time, the Phillies and the Nationals they're only 2 games under 500. Then you've got the Central where every team has a winning record. Like that's just such a wild divide between the 2 leagues.
Well, then excuse me, just popped into my head. Does that mean it's going to be a lopsided all-star game in terms of the score? I mean, but you never know.
Well, it doesn't. Does it feel to you like you see? It almost feels like your big bats, like your home run leaders, are like American League guys.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a matter of pitching in the American League versus pitching in the National League that's making things so lopsided, or what is it?
I would say the pitching in the National League this is just off the top of my head. I think the pitching in the National League is better because for right now, Fried is out, Skubal is out. So that really takes arguably 2 of the best guys in the American League out of the equation.
What did they end up saying about Max Fried? Sorry. I remember hearing that he was out, but
Scott Boras went, he has, those loose bodies in your arm, like in your elbow.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what he had.
That's what had.
He had to have a few of those removed. Now, Scott Boras went on Buster Olney's podcast and said he got some special procedure in which he's going to be back in 4 weeks. I call major BS. There's no chance
On
he's back
Fried?
in forward. No, Scooble, excuse me.
On Scooble. Yeah, I was asking about. Yeah, I remember hearing that about Scooble, that they were predicting he was going to be back very quickly. What did they end up? What happened with Max Fried? I remember I noticed he got hurt, but I haven't heard anything else about it.
I haven't heard much of a timeline. All I know is he's going to be out at least for the foreseeable future. He did have to go to the IL.
Yeah.
But there's zero chance Schoolboy comes back in 4 weeks. That's my own opinion.
No. And speaking of arm injuries, Chase Dollander did get pulled in the second inning today. Now they're saying arm tightness. I did not like the way that he was shaking his arm out before the training staff started looking at him. I am concerned.
The other thing is when the elbow is slightly more bent when it's in the relaxed position, that scares me a little bit too. When you have tightness, your elbow doesn't fully relax in the straight position for a pitcher. That gives me a load of concern. But our spirits are already kind of low, and you take our best pitcher out of the equation. He had a rough last start. Maybe this is why. Maybe this was starting to rear its ugly head.
And but even then, it wasn't that bad. The last start wasn't. But this today, you could definitely tell something was not right. He didn't have his best stuff the last start, but it wasn't something that really, really concerned me. Because you are still going to have those growing pains with him. Like, he's getting really, really good, but he's going to have days where it's just not going to be as much as it is. But I really feel like this season I'm just enjoying what I'm seeing because it's so much more fun than what was happening last year. But if Chase goes down for any amount of time, I will be absolutely crushed. Like, that will kill the whole year for me.
Go ahead.
Just fingers crossed for him.
Fingers crossed for anybody, because not just because it's not that we need him. We don't want a young pitcher like him to get hurt. Has he had a Tommy John surgery? Do you know?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't think he's had anything.
Okay. If he, again, fingers crossed, knock on wood, it's just, I don't know. I'm trying not to think about it too much, and I'm trying to stay positive about it, but face fact reality, it's like a badge of honor almost getting for a pitcher in the Major League Baseball, getting Tommy John surgery. But he has not.
Yeah, I didn't think he had, but I was like, I better double check that. But
whenever I hear tightness, I think, oh crap.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's move. Let's not spend too much on the. Let's not too much. Less negative talk. Let's go positive vibes here. Anyway, so just real quick, we're going to preview the upcoming series. Obviously, we're at home. We have the Diamondbacks, and then we have the Texas Rangers. Neither team is pulling it away. For example, right now the Diamondbacks are. It is crazy now. The Dodgers and the Padres are tied for first place in the division. The Diamondbacks are 4.5 games behind them at 20 and 22.
Mm-hmm.
They just let go of Alec Thomas. He got picked up by
the Dodgers.
By the Dodgers. You're right. So he just had to go over one state. So the taxes are going to change for him, but that's about it.
Oh, it's going to be miserable with that. That's.
But anyway,
sorry, buddy.
So again, let me double check. Hold on. We're 4 games behind them at 17 and 27. This is going to be an interesting series. I'm not looking. Hey, who knows? They're right now the Diamondbacks are on a 2-game losing streak. So, and their run differential is actually negative 25. The Dodgers are the only team in our division with a positive run differential, where they're plus 63. I'm expecting us we could take this series.
It's not something that would surprise me. We have, and it's at home, so. I feel like, we're obviously playing much better at Coors Field than we are on the road this season so far. So that's a plus. I feel like, you're not looking at a spot. Let's see, what are the pitching matchups? It was Dollander, so it'll be. Is it Kyle?
Do we know who's taking his spot?
No, he pitched today. So let's take a look. So it's Kyle Freeland tomorrow, Sugano Saturday. And and Lorenzen Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday is the only game I really would be too terribly concerned about. It's against Michael Soroka, and you and I both are familiar with him from his time with both the Braves and the White Sox. Of course, with the Braves before those Achilles injuries, he was our, as we like to call him, Maple Maddox. Um, so, I mean, and he has, it seems like he's found a good spot in Arizona. So that would be a game I'd be a little bit concerned about as long as the bats can keep working, and Lorenzen can do something other than what he's been doing. I don't know. I still am just so torn on him because I'll see a couple of innings where I'm just like, this is great. But as soon as he starts giving up hits, like you got to get him out of there. Like as soon as he's lost it, he's lost it. And it seems like it happens really quickly. So I don't know. But I feel pretty good about that series. Rangers, honestly, I'm really not concerned about the Rangers at all. 21-22 record.
They are they're underperforming, and it's just that Seager contract is not working out for them.
No.
Just like also in a sense the Nimmo trade isn't exactly yielding the results they were hoping. Change of scenery for him, get him out of New York. No. I mean,
no.
They just kind of been in the middle since winning the World Series. They're just they're neither in the top half, bottom half. They're just like sitting there in the middle, which is the worst place you want to be. You're neither because you don't know what your you don't have a true direction. You don't know, are we going for? Are we retooling? What are we doing?
Yeah, and I mean, they've just been, and you've seen them make a lot of moves. It's not like they're not doing anything, but it's hard to tell. Like you said, it's hard to tell what direction they're trying to go in here. Like, are you trying to overtake? Well, I mean, they've very much overtaken Houston, but like, what are you trying to do? Try to get back up to the top of your division? Are you playing the middle ground right now? Are you thinking about a rebuild? If you are, what is your plan there? It's just they seem very stagnant, even though they've been making moves.
I know. It's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know if Chris Young's job is on the line, but if I'm the owners, I mean, it's like, show me something here. They've just been, like I said, it's hard to repeat. I'm not saying it's easy, but just, they haven't done anything special. And, John Gray's no longer on the team, but he did get his World Series ring. I don't know. I'm not too, just like you, I'm not too worried about the Rangers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I mean, they're riding the line of 500. They're 21-22 right now, so they're right there in the middle. Last 10, they're 500. So really, I mean, if we can, of course, you'll be running into, is Chase going to get a start when his spot comes up during that series, or who is going to go in his place? They did just put Jimmy Herget on the IL and brought Tanner Gordon back up. Tanner Gordon was in Albuquerque for 30 minutes, it seems like, before having to come back with it. Jimmy has had all kinds of stuff going on. First, the paternity list, which congratulations, that's a good thing. But then almost immediately on the bereavement list, and now on the IL. And it's just like, man, what's going on, brother? We kind of need you here. But yeah, and they've bounced Tanner Gordon around a little bit. So you've got him, or do you run an opener out and let Senza have the game?
I don't. This is my personal opinion. I don't think they give Senzatella a rotation spot. I think he's just found himself a home in a role, or he knows his role. I don't see it being a positive to change it.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not thinking change it. I'm just thinking if Chase's issue is something where maybe he needs just a little extra rest. Now, if it does end up, which I don't even want to say what's going through my brain right now because I don't want to put that out into the universe or jinx Chase or anything like that. But if let's say this is just some tightness, something's going on, maybe he's got a little muscle issue happening and he needs to miss his next spot just to get some extra rest in there or something along those lines. What do you think about them putting Senza in a role that like Chase was playing where he's got an opener and then he comes in for several innings?
Yeah, I mean, that I like that. Now that you frame it that way, I do like the idea, because he is, you could say, he's not a middle reliever. He's not a high leverage guy, but in being the long man, I really do like that role for him. So yeah, you know what? I'd give that a shot. At this point, I'd give it a shot, because he can pitch at least. I'm not going to go over 5. He could pitch at least 4 innings, maybe 5. If he's having a good day, keep rolling him out there.
Yeah, I just if it were to be more of a long-term situation, like I said, I don't even want to put those words out. I don't even want them coming out of my mouth. But if it were to be more of a long-term situation, then I think you have to start looking at who's coming up from Albuquerque, unless you're giving that spot to Tanner Gordon, which I don't know if they've messed with him too much at this point to make that happen. But it's kind of hard to say what's going to happen. I think if it's more short-term, Senza would be a really good person to fill that spot for one game in the same role they started the season in with Chase. If it's more long-term, obviously you're looking at somebody else for that spot.
What about Palmquist? Could he be an idea? He just popped into my head.
I don't know. Gabriel Hughes, maybe. I would think probably more Gabriel Hughes.
I'm kind of in the Carson Palmquist bandwagon fan club, however you want to put it. And it's just, I don't know. I really like him, but that's just me going on either way. So, but I mean, if it is what it is, but I'm just trying to, I'm looking it up here. I'm trying to think.
I would have to take a little deeper look at Albuquerque as far as what's happening on the pitching side of things. I am very much aware of the offense, because usually that's more of what you see them posting on social media. And if I'm turning on the game, it's usually when they're batting, and I'm flipping back and forth between the Rockies and the Isotopes. Or I have checked game day and seen that Zach Veen's on deck, and I want to see if he's going to hit another tank, things like that. But I would have to look a little bit further into what's happening with the pitching down in Albuquerque. I'm sorry, my cat is trying to jump in my window right now, and there's a screen there, so it's not working out very well for him. I just saw a little head come up. Kind of threw me off for a second. I apologize. You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, my animals sometimes sit at my feet as well, so I get it. But it's kind of animals do funny things. I get it. So
well, he's outside.
I didn't hear anything, so that's all good. It didn't disrupt me.
Yeah, he's outside, and I was talking, and all of a sudden and then he just fell back down. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'll go get him here in a second.
All right. Well, anyway, with that being said, that is our final our final topic of discussion this evening. Sorry we didn't get to trivia. I will save that for next week. But in the meantime, that'll do it for this episode of the Rockies Now podcast. Again, if you are not subscribed to our Instagram, X page, or our Threads page, please do so. And of course, make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel to stay tuned for more content. That'll do it for this episode of the Rockies Now podcast. I am Tom. That is Sarah. Have a good night, everyone. As always, go Rockies.